Hello and welcome to Design for 3D Printing. In this video, we're going to talk about a couple different ways to add details to curved surfaces. These are going to be more on the beginner side just to help you out, and hopefully it'll assist you in your future designs. So let's get started with the first way to tackle this. I'm just going to make a simple circle off of this work plane. We're going to make it 1.5 inches in diameter, and then we're going to make a square that's 1/2 by 1/2. Now that we have our details, we can now go to the Emboss, click the feature we want, and we can add it as a emboss or an engrave. So let's do an emboss first. You can see that it adds the detail no problem, and it matches that curved surface quite nicely. However, we can also go and edit this and make it cut into the material as well to do the same idea. So you can do any kind of shapes you want and cut into this. So this is one style that you can utilize. Another version that you can do is, this is just a wing that I'm making for a part that I'm doing, and it has multiple cuts that are in it. So we're going to use the emboss feature the same way, and we're going to do a cut in. We're going to choose all these features. Once they're all selected, we can actually go wrap to face, and now you're going to choose this face, and as you can see, because of how many details we're doing, it now knows which face to wrap around, and when you're done, you have this nice pattern done for you. So that's just another way of utilizing the emboss feature when it comes to using putting the details into curved surfaces. So let's go to the next version. Now that we're back to the sphere, we're going to do this a little differently now. And this is going to allow you to add to a feature if your software does not have the emboss function. So firstly, we're going to do a sketch from the center plane of the sphere. And it could have been done from the work plane as well. And we're going to add a little bit more complex detail this time. And we're going to add just another detail on each side that's going to just be 1 inch by 1/8. And then dimension that to be 1 inch. Why not? So what we're going to show you here is we're going to extrude this out, which should be a feature you have for your software. So we're going to extrude this detail 2 inches out. So now you can see that it's sticking out of the sphere. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually make another sketch about this axis. I usually do it the opposite or 90 degrees just to make it easier to see the feature that you want to do. So now we're going to make the cutting portion. So to start off with, we're going to make a circle and cut it in half, and then we're going to dimension it to be about, let's say, 1/16 for this case. So now it's going to be 1/16 of an inch that we're going to cut away from, and now what we're going to do is just make a quick little box that sticks out, and this is what we're going to revolve to cut around. So now that we're done this portion, you have a sketch. We're going to do a revolve feature. We're going to choose the feature we want, and the axis being here, and then we're going to choose the cutaway feature, and now you can see it's going to cut away by 1/16. And then if I wanted to go back to the sketch and change that to 1/8, change this dimension here, and now it sticks out further. So this is the same idea as using an emboss feature, but you're doing it with the functionality of your software. Lastly, we're going to show you how to do the same idea, but with cutting into the material. So there's going to be 2 different styles that we're going to utilize with this, but we're going to use the same sketch. So we're going to make a simple design again. So we're going to make a circle that's 1.5 inches. And let's do something a little different this time. We'll do a hexagon. we're gonna now extrude cut this through all. So it's gonna cut through. And now we have this empty void. So one way to fix this is we're gonna make a sketch, again, about the opposite axis. We're gonna project the geometry. And let's say we want it to be, again, a 1/16 of an inch in diameter, or from the face. And now what we're going to do, same thing, we're going to trim it. And now we can revolve this piece to create material. So when you're finished, it has a nice arc that matches the component you're doing. So that's one way of doing this. Another way is if we go back and make a new sketch about this plane, we can actually project the geometry, and let's say we want it to stick out, be flat to a certain point, so it sticks out a little bit. I'm just going to do a couple simple constraints to make this work, and we're going to dimension this to be away from the surface by 1/8 of an inch. Make it equal to the same side. Now, when we do this, we're going to do an extrusion, or you can do a revolution. Either way works. I personally would prefer to do a revolution. So if we go back to the sketch, for simplification reasons anyways, we're just going to do an access point from here, and we're going to revolve this. Exit, revolve half of it about your axis, and now you have a flat surface as opposed to a round surface. And if for some reason you don't like how much that sticks out, then of course you can always go back into this and you can even cut away from it. So let's say you wanted it to be flat as well, a certain distance. Again, let's go with 1/8 of an inch. And 1/8 of an inch. You can now extrude cut this portion. Extrude. And now you can have it where it's flat as well. So that's just a couple ways of utilizing features that you can add to round surfaces. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Otherwise, this is Tyler with 3D Printer Store, and I hope you have a great day.